Published 11:36 EDT, the 14th of September 2017. Updated 12:13 EDT, the 14th of September 2017. Roy Hodgson has inherited the daunting task of turning things around at Crystal Palace after replacing Frank de Boer at the helm earlier this week. Hodgson will take charge of Palace for the first time when they host Southampton on Saturday, and despite the Premier League campaign being barely a month old, it has the potential to be a season-defining match for the Eagles. Without a point and yet to even score a goal, Palace's next three fixtures after the Southampton match are away trips to Manchester City and United before a home game against Chelsea, arguably the league's three strongest sides. So how can Hodgson rescue Palace's season as he prepares to manage his first Premier League match in more than 5 years? Sportsmail list 5 things on the former England manager's todo list. Roy Hodgson has taken on a huge task by replacing Frank de Boer as Crystal Palace manager. Benteke firing againPalace were reliant on Christian Benteke for goals following his arrival from Liverpool in the summer of 2016, and the big Belgian bears the brunt of the scoring burden on his shoulders again this campaign. Benteke was comfortably the top scorer in Palace's squad last season with 15 goals, more than twice the amount managed by nearest rival Wilfried Zaha. Only Connor Wickham, who remains sidelined with a cruciate injury suffered last year, provides senior backup this season, and Palace's survival hopes could hinge on whether Hodgson manages to get Benteke firing again. The £32 million man proved he can be one of the Premier League's most effective strikers during his time at Aston Villa, but has too often looked isolated and disinterested after being forced to feed off scraps leading the line for Palace. Christian Benteke endured another frustrating afternoon last time out in the 10 loss to Burnley switch back to 433. A big part of getting Benteke back scoring is providing him with the service he needs, and that starts with Palace adopting a system which plays to the striker's strengths. De Boer promised evolution not revolution after his appointment, but the Dutchman set the team up in an unfamiliar 352 formation as he attempted to force his possession-based philosophy down the throats of the Palace players. Hodgson must get back to basics and revert to the counter-attacking, fast-paced brand of football Palace played under Sam Allardyce, which saw them steer clear of relegation trouble. That 433 formation saw Andros Townsend and Zaha stretch teams with their pace on the flanks, delivering crosses in for Benteke. Johan Cabaye and Jason Puncheon formed a central midfield partnership with Luka Milivojevic sitting deeper in the holding role. Key to all this is Zaha, who is back in training following his opening day knee injury. His return to match fitness can't come quickly enough for Hodgson. Wilfried Zaha and Andros Townsend thrived playing in a 433 formation under Sam Allardyce's side on the best defence how Palace could look with a fully fit squad. Hodgson will revert to a 4-man defence in a bid to tighten things up, but picking his best back line will prove tricky. Palace have an remarkable 11 defenders in the squad: Mamadou Sakho, Damien Delaney, Timothy Fosu-Mensah, Scott Dann, Joel Ward, James Tompkins, Jairo Riedewald, Patrick Van Aanholt, Martin Kelly, Jeffrey Schlupp and Pape Souaré, who has just declared himself match fit. Sakho made a huge impact during his loan spell in South London last season and will play a crucial role once he returns from injury. Hodgson must pick from Tompkins a Dan who he came close to selecting for England to partner the Frenchman. Ward can be dependable on the right side of defence without the added responsibilities of a wing-back, but faces competition from Fosu-Mensah and Kelly. Van Aanholt was one of Palace's most consistent performers last season on the left, while the versatile Riedewald can play at left-back, centre-back or as a holding midfielder. Hodgson must find the best formula from the plethora of defensive options at his disposal and build an organised backline if Palace are to stop leaking goals. Hodgson considered handing defender Scott Dan an England call-up during his spell as boss. New signing Mamadou Sakho could be crucial to Palace's chance of survival this season, makes Selhurst Park a fortress. Selhurst Park can produce one of the most intense atmospheres in the Premier League, but that failed to translate into success on the pitch last season. Palace won just 6 home matches in 201,617. Only relegated pair Middlesbrough and Sunderland managed fewer and picked up a point more on the travels than at home. De Boer failed to connect with the home supporters, but Croydon-born Hodgson will be hoping to quickly get the Palace fans on his side. Selhurst Park can be an intimidating ground for away teams, with home wins over Chelsea, Arsenal, City, Liverpool and Tottenham since Palace returned to the Premier League in 2013. Hodgson must turn it into a fortress again, starting with the visit of Southampton. Palace won just 6 Premier League home matches at Selhurst Park in the 201,617 season. Make a call on Punch, and Palace supporters are divided on club captain Jason Puncheon. The 31-year-old is a local boy like Hodgson, but his form has dipped over the last couple of seasons, and he hasn't scored since the 2015 FA Cup final loss to United. Though he arrived at Palace as a winger, he has also been used as a number 10, a number 8 and even a defensive midfielder, and there is a feeling among fans that he is being crowbarred into the side for sentimental reasons. Puncheon is well loved at Selhurst Park but struggling to produce, and Hodgson must make a potentially unpopular call on his captain, with on-loan Chelsea youngster Ruben Loftus-Cheek waiting in the wings to take his place. Local boy Jason Puncheon is a popular among Palace supporters, but his form has dipped. Puncheon celebrates scoring in Palace's FA Cup final loss against Manchester United.